We're at the 2009 Business and Consumer Expo here in Santa Monica at the Sheraton Delfina, and Laurel Rosen is President and CEO of the Santa Monica Chamber of Commerce. And Laurel, great to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Thank you. So tell us about the Business and Community Expo.
It's an event that's actually evolved over time. This year it's a little bit different. What we've done this year, we've brought in many city departments, anything from Sustainable Works to show how to green your business, to the city attorney's office to talk about the issues that are affecting business. So what we wanted to do this year was to make it a one-stop resource center, so people could come here and kind of have the things that they would expect. They'll have a good time, there'll be some great giveaways, there'll be vendors selling product at a discount, they'll meet one-on-one with the vendors in the community, they'll get a chance to shop local. And there's a lot of dynamic energy in that room, and I think in this economy it's really good for people to see the strength of the community. And then we've taken it to another level where we've brought in all these different elements for education. They can meet face-to-face with the city attorney's office or cultural fairs, or they can meet with the human resource department and they can say, I have some interest in these issues, I care about these issues, and they can meet face-to-face, they can get the information. And this is something very different that doesn't happen very often in this community. We're very excited about it. We've gotten an enormous response. We have 85 exhibitors. We've added some other fun kind of things to put in there. We have artists that are showcasing their work this year. So what we tried to do is really say, what is this community? And this community is about people who really care about the issues, who are very, very attached to knowing what's going on in their community. There are also people who love to shop. They're cultural people who love the arts, and it's a little bit of everything here this year. And as you can see when you go in the other room, the room is packed. That there's this energy here tonight that we're really excited about.
So why is an event like this so important in these times?
Why it's important is that people, I think, personally, that people get scared, when they feel very alone, when they feel like there's no solutions and no options. People need to come together. They need to see that they're willing to support each other, and they need to educate themselves, and they need to step up the marketing. Many people get scared and they do less, and they basically hide, and then they kind of disappear. And in this environment now, people need to see each other. They need to come together. They need to know that I'm willing to support you, that as a community as a whole, we will make it. This is one of the better communities in terms of its ability to survive. It has survived other things in the past. This is probably one of the hardest times it has ever been. But the fact is, this is a very vibrant, strong community that will survive. So people need to be reminded of that so they can lift themselves up by their bootstraps, get on out there, sell themselves, and that's, you can see the energy in that room. I'm going to keep saying that because I'm very excited that people are together and they know it, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a community leader that's here, whether, Chief Jackman is here speaking about everyone coming out for this. It's important stuff for us.
So tell us about the businesses and the exhibitors here.
You have everything here. It runs the gamut. I'm going to start again. We have 8 city departments that are here, and they're talking about everything from how to green their business to, how to get a permit from the city, how to do business in the community, what are the pitfalls, and so how to deal with the homeless on the streets. Human Services is here with all sorts of materials to take away. The issues that are impacting our city. We have people here from City Attorney's Office who are going to talk about the anti-panhandling, anti-smoking, so that we've got that. Then we've got all those great members, all those vendors, anything from a beautiful place called Agabumi, which is a lovely store that has gorgeous jewelry and silks, to the Red Cross, to insurance, to computers, to just about everything you can think of that makes up the culture of this community. They're here, very strong.
What can we learn from an event like this?
What they can learn is some of the things we already spoke about, is that they have a strong community that's willing to support each other, that they can find out ways to be more successful in their business, that instead of, like I was talking about before, instead of kind of stepping back and giving in, this is the time to really get out there and do your research, to diversify your experience. So you can, if you've just been laid off, there's people here, I'm sure, who are the ones that are laid off, who are looking to meet other people, to network, to get information about how to get back into the job market. I think you're going to find a little bit of everything in this room. The people that are looking for their next customer, the people that are trying to help people create their business in this community, whether they're developers or realtors. It's everything in this room, you know, and the theme is coming together, supporting each other, staying local, shopping local, educating yourselves and pushing yourself that much harder. We have to work harder now. And so people have to be out there and they have to be doing the things that get them in front of their audience. And this is one of the things that makes that happen.
If somebody wants to find out more about the Chamber, how do they do that?
There's a couple different ways. They can go on our website from www.santamonicachamber.com. That's probably the best way. Call our office, 310-393-9825. We'll be happy to send you information, talk to you about the value of being a Chamber member. We'd love to hear from you.
Laurel, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. It's always great to see you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Cambrian is a non-medical home care company since 1996, with offices throughout Southern California, providing in-home services such as bathing, grooming, light housekeeping, and meal preparation for seniors, developmentally disabled, and post-surgery. Our caregivers are our employees. In the event of injury, the homeowner's insurance is not liable and no need to worry about payroll taxes. We take care of all of it. We work with many cultures and have a high percentage of Spanish speakers. Our caregivers are local and have completed a very unique training program. Our experience and dedication makes us the right choice. Call us 877-390-4300 anytime.
Blake Christian is a partner with Holthouse Carlin and Van Trite and is a nationally recognised expert and speaker on state and federal location-based incentive credits. And Blake, great to see you once again.
Very good seeing you, Mike.
What are the main elements of the stimulus package?
Well, the stimulus package has a combination of spending, kind of a safety net element for those that are unemployed and maybe have lost their medical insurance, and then what's near and dear to my heart is the tax provisions that will have some stimulant effect.
So will availability of credit improve in the short term?
The first stimulus package did a fairly good job of freeing up the credit markets, which was very problematic in the economy. The problem we have right now is just that the lenders are very conservative, overly conservative right now in doling out that money. So there is plenty of liquidity in the market, but just the rules of the game of who they're going to loan to have changed, and so money's still a bit tight. I think that over the next 6 months that should improve, but it's going to take a little while.
So Blake, will all firms benefit from the package, and what about the smaller firms?
The way that it's designed, it is set to be spread geographically. There is an element to infuse money into infrastructure projects, which will be regional and try and help those economies that have been harder hit. And we're hoping that those infrastructure jobs and some of the other provisions will filter down to the smaller businesses. I've been in some discussions with local and state legislators to try and ensure that, say, 20% of those contracts get spread around to the smaller businesses and some of the non-union businesses.
Are there any industry-specific measures or regionally specific initiatives?
One common theme with a lot of both the spending as well as the tax provisions is on alternative fuels and energy efficiency kind of businesses. So again, alternative fuel vehicles. There's very large spending for a new fleet of government vehicles in that area. There's also again, alternative fuel production credits, and then also even residential, an expansion of the residential credit for people retrofitting their homes to be more efficient. So that's probably the industry in general. Is the green technologies is a big winner here.
So when will these measures actually be available?
On the tax side, virtually all of the tax provisions are set to be effective January 109, and so they'll be retroactive in the majority of cases. On the spending side, those are multi-year provisions, and some of those are a little bit backloaded, so we won't always see that stimulative effect for possibly 2 or 3 years. But the tax provisions go in immediately and can help corporate and individual taxpayers immediately they can reduce their estimated tax payments and get some cash flowing.
If somebody wants to find out more, how do they do that?
That would be on our website, hcvt.com, or they can contact me at 562-590-9535.
Blake, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Coldwell Banker Real Estate's luxury home marketing program continues to build its success through the Coldwell Banker Previews International program. Brian Selim is a sales associate with Coldwell Banker Previews International in Brentwood. And Brian, nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Mike.
Tell us about Coldwell Banker Previews International.
Well, primarily the Previews International is a separate division of Coldwell Banker, dealing with estate homes in the range of $2 million and up.
What about the breadth of services that you provide?
Well, Coldwell Banker itself provides residential brokerage services dealing with condos, homes, new developments, and we also have a full-service commercial division. We deal with also property management and have affiliated businesses with mortgage, title, and insurance.
And what about the market for luxury homes holding up in California?
Well, the markets are spread out in different areas, but fundamentally, the high-end homes, the Previews homes, have been holding up very well. They have been doing very well, for instance, in a lot of the West Side neighborhoods that we've seen, but overall in California, it's just starting to hit that market in different areas.
And what about other areas besides the luxury area?
Yeah, besides the luxury areas, they're getting hit. A lot of them are getting hit very hard. We've seen significant drops in prices right now.
What about changes in trends at the moment? Where do you see this heading?
I feel like as we hit into September, actually, I feel that there will be some possible changes that might occur. At that point, we'll start seeing some signals. Yes. That things might be turning around. I don't expect, though, that the full extent of that will occur until maybe next year. It might be like the beginning of 2010.
So there's still a bit of a rocky road up until then?
I would predict that, yes.
If somebody wants to find out more about Coldwell Banker Previews International, how do they do that?
Well, they could call our office anytime.
And the number is?
It's 310-820-6651. And if they wanted to reach me directly, they could reach me at 310-442-1644.
And what about a web address?
Of course, the Coldwell Banker web address would be coldwellbanker.com or camoves.com. They can go there as well. My web address is wlaproperties.com.
Brian, thank you very much.
Sure.
The Default News reports on trends and issues with the housing foreclosure industry. It helps homeowners, investors, and real estate executives better understand the foreclosure process. Anne-Marie Dulabon has a background as a real estate-owned homes and corporate alliance specialist before founding the Default News, and her mission is to offer her readers insight into these complex issues. Anne-Marie, nice to see you again.
Great to be here, Mike.
And our topic this week is how to find foreclosed real estate-owned properties. What's the difference between buying a property in foreclosure versus one that's bank-owned?
When a property is in default, there's really 4 stages. So foreclosure is really the second stage. It means that the property has been given a notice of default, and that at least here in California, the homeowner has 90 days to come current with the property, with the loan, I should say. A property that is REO, which stands for real estate owned or it's bank owned, means that it's in the last stage of default. It's gone through the foreclosure process. It's gone through, it wasn't sold at the trustee sale, and now the bank owns it, and their goal is to try to sell it.
So is it better to buy a property in foreclosure or a real estate owned property?
You can buy a property at either of those stages. It just depends on your comfort zone. If you buy a property in foreclosure, you're buying it directly from the homeowner, which means more than likely you're going to buy it in a short sale. It doesn't have to be, but most likely it'll be a short sale. And if you buy it as an REO, a bank owned, it means that it's less complicated in some ways because it's unemotional. If you buy it from the homeowner in short sale, it's very emotional, but from the bank, there's no emotion to it. They just want to sell the property. It's all a numbers game. The title is clear. More than likely the tenants are evicted. And so it just depends on the comfort zone of the investor. But they can be bought either way.
Anne-Marie, is there one source, website or listing where people can find information on foreclosed and REO properties?
That is a misnomer. Many people think that if they buy these listing services, they're going to find all the information that they need, but in reality, that's not the case. There is not one real source that gives you all the information that you need in regards to a property that's in default. You might find a source that gives you the information on the default amount. Maybe you'll find a list of properties that are in default, but it might not give you the information if it's a first lien or if it's a second lien. So the good thing that people need to do is try to find a couple of different sources of information. Try to find listing agents that really understand the property, so the listing agent can say how long the property's been on the market. They can go through title companies to find out if the property's in the first lien or a second lien. And if they can talk to the homeowner themselves, they can get more information as well.
If somebody wants to find out more, how do they do that?
They can go to my website, which is www.thedefaultnews.com.
Anne-Marie, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Cambrian es una compañía no médico de cuidado en casa desde 1996, con oficinas a través del sur de California que proporciona los servicios a domicilio para asistencia en bañar, cuidado personal, limpieza en casa y preparación de comida para ancianos, personas con deficiencias mentales y cuidado después de cirugía. Nuestros trabajadores son nuestros empleados. En caso de herida, el seguro del propietario no es responsable y ninguna necesidad de preocuparse por impuestos de paga de los empleados. Nos encargamos de todo. Tenemos un porcentaje alto de empleados que hablan español. Nuestros trabajadores son locales y completaron un programa de capacitación muy extraordinario. Nuestras experiencias y la dedicación nos hacen la elección correcta. Llámenos a cualquier hora, 877-390-4300.
Carlos Galvan Jr. is Vice President of La Amapola, a family-owned business of grocery stores. Carlos has held senior positions in the banking sector and is also the chairman of the Regional Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and the Regional Hispanic Institute. And Carlos, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you, Mike. Thank you.
What are your views about the regional or local economic situation?
Obviously, it reflects the rest of the state and the nation. It's very, very tough right now. There are a lot of businesses that are laying off people. Job prospects are very slim, but there are still opportunities for businesses to advance and to make some money.
And what about the federal government stimulus package and its impact on the region?
The stimulus package is being watched with great interest in the business community. The business owners are waiting to see what incentives are going to come out that will benefit their businesses. They're really interested more in tax cuts or tax incentives as opposed to any kind of spending the government may do.
And what about the outlook for retail and consumer spending?
The outlook is going to be a little tough for the foreseeable future. People are going to economize, they're going to spend less or be more careful in how they spend their money. And that's where businesses need to focus on in order to keep the flow of customers coming to their establishments.
And Carlos, do you have tips on surviving in business today?
Tips actually boils down to one tip, is being disciplined. Not to do anything drastic, any drastic changes, whether it's lowering your prices, getting rid of staff. There may be cuts that need to be made, but for the most part, being disciplined, staying the course, and not panicking would be the course of action for a lot of businesses.
And it's also a great time not just for surviving, but also increasing your market share.
That's true. Retail grocery stores, for example, are seeing increase in their revenue because people are eating out less. They're not going to restaurants, and they're buying groceries and stretching out their dollar. So for retail grocery establishments, there is an opportunity for growth.
And if somebody wants to find out more, how do they do that?
They can contact the Regional Hispanic Chamber of Commerce at our website, www.regionalhispaniccc.org.
Carlos, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cambrian es una compañía no médico de cuidado en casa desde 1996, con oficinas a través del sur de California que proporciona los servicios a domicilio para asistencia en bañar, cuidado personal, limpieza en casa y preparación de comida para ancianos, personas con deficiencias mentales y cuidado después de cirugía. Nuestros trabajadores son nuestros empleados. En caso de herida, el seguro del propietario no es responsable y ninguna necesidad de preocuparse por impuestos de paga de los empleados. Nos encargamos de todo. Tenemos un porcentaje alto de empleados que hablan español. Nuestros trabajadores son locales y completaron un programa de capacitación muy extraordinario. Nuestras experiencias y la dedicación nos hacen la elección correcta. Llámenos a cualquier hora, 877-390-4300.
The organic panificio started in Italy. Now, panificio means the Italian bread maker. Now, the concept for the company was simple. Bring to America what Italy has known for 1,000 years just about, or more, longer. Charles Colby, or Chuck, is Managing Director and CEO. First of all, what a great location and a great restaurant.
Oh, thanks to have you. I'm glad you like it.
So the concept of it, from Italy, of course, but why here in LA?
You know, it's where I live, and I got talked into this mess by two of my best Italian friends, and I've traveled to Italy for years and years and years, and the food is so great and everything, and you know, we just started talking about cooking, and it's been a passion of mine for a lot of years, and broke down simple things about why does a pasta taste so much better? Why is a pizza so much better? It's everything from the pH in the water, and they had to install these crazy water filters and everything because the pH has to be just right, and the dough has to be just this, and this has to be that. But one of the main flavors, the main threads that travel through the whole thing was the food was natural. It had no chemicals, it had no growth hormones, it has no additives. It's just natural, good food, and the taste comes through, plus it's healthy for you.
It's intriguing. I mean, from you've played professional baseball,
yeah,
to a restaurant.
I did. Yeah, it's been a long road. So with several stops.
Let's talk about the food here. What sort of food can we expect?
You know, the food here is what you'd expect in any good Italian restaurant. And also we've got some things that cater to vegans and vegetarians that kind of slant towards organic and healthy eating. But sort of the overall concept of the restaurant is that what we wanted to do was just bring great food that's good for you in some respects. Now, mind you, we serve bacon. Mind you, we serve all sorts of things that were you to restrict your diet to, most likely gain a bunch of weight and probably have cholesterol problems and the like. You know, we offer good foods, but there's no nitrates. There's no anabolic steroids. There's no growth hormones. Everything is natural or it's organic. And
Now
the
you're
idea
terrifying me.
why? You eat here, you don't glow in the dark.
What are some of the dishes, though?
Anything you expect in a good restaurant. Portobello mushroom and tomato sandwiches and all kinds of fun sort of vegetable organic things. And it goes all the way to steaks and seafood and homemade ravioli, lobster ravioli pastas. And we make a 4-cheese truffle mushroom sacchetti, which is Italian for beggar's purse. It looks like a little wonton thing, but it's really a ravioli, and it's just in a nice sauce, and it's really, if you like truffles, it's fabulous. I can't stand them, so everybody here but me loves them. They're very good. I mean, people like they're excellent.
If I was going to have a dinner here, what would you suggest? Say if I wanted something really laid on nicely, something really special.
Well, again, that's one of the nice things about the Panificio. We actually have 2 separate complete identities. We have a cafe side. We converted it from the old Edie's Diner, and it's just more salads and sandwiches. It's more simple, inexpensive, simple, straightforward food. Mm-hmm. And the other bit on the other side is a fine dining tablecloth restaurant where you can come in and, the waiters are wearing ties and you get Himalayan sea salt ground at your table and all of these sort of exotic things, and you can have anything from lobster raviolis that are priced very well up to a $55 steak and enjoy. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful selection of organic and biodynamic wines, which are just tremendous. I mean, we have bigger wine cellars almost anyone. But over and above all the socially responsible reasons for buying organic or biodynamic wines, the one thing about the Italians and the Europeans have known is that it's fact that a glass of wine a day is actually good for you. And natural wines, there's no sulfites used in the fermentation process. It's all natural. Apparently, that whole process increases whatever those good things are in organic wines, increases that 4 to 5-fold. On top of that, if you've ever drank a lot of wine, which God knows I never have, but if you've ever, if you ever had a little bit too much and you wake up the next day and not only the typical hangover, but you have that headache, that sort of heavy feeling in the back of your head, believe it or not, you'll find that that's the sulfites. And if you happen to have a little bit too much biodynamic or organic wine, you'll still have a hangover, but it won't have that feeling that somebody's laid a 40-pound brick in the back of your head.
Let's talk about your operating hours for both sides.
Currently, we're open from 11:30 every day till dinner, through the dinner shift, and then on Saturdays, Sundays, we serve breakfast from bright and early, 8, 9 o'clock or so all day. And we do very good in the cafe. It's sort of a perfect Sunday breakfast spot to come out and look at the water and sitting outside, and it's great. And then for the football fans or basketball fans,
the chill-out part disappears.
Yeah, that's on the other side of the restaurant. We have these huge sort of sports bar-ish flat screen TVs and great leather couches and chairs, and everyone comes and sits and watches their favorite sporting events and has beers and sort of yells and screams and has a great time.
Okay, if somebody wants to find out more, to go to your website.
There is a website, yes. And the real challenge is spelling it, and we make a joke, if you can pronounce it or spell it, you get a free drink. It's the Organic Panificio. It's PANIFICIO.com, organicpanificio.com. And it's just sort of an extra I in there, and you'll sort of try to find it. And it's funny because when we open it, everybody gives us a hard time. Why in the world would you call it? What does this mean? We can't even bloody well pronounce it. And we thought, oh, what a disaster. And then it really caught on because everyone kept saying, well, I don't know what you call it, but the place is great. It's the Panificio, whatever. We get a kick out of it. So
it's a great restaurant. Appreciate your hospitality.
Thank you very much for the time. Thanks for coming out.
Cheers.
Cheers.